We're live.
Oh, thank God.
Here we go. Guess what? Guess what's back?
I don't know what's back.
You're listening to the Rough
There
Tumble
it is.
Podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have our sound effects back.
I know we've been without him for a while,
And we cleaned up this, or I cleaned up the studio too. And we kind of got the basic outline of what we wanted, but
I agree. I like the addition of the radio.
the radio. I want to get rid of the blanket really bad. That's gonna happen soon.
Yeah.
But it's less echoey in here.
I've noticed because we have. I told you
There's
just
just
like
more,
it's in the
just
last
more
one.
shit
Yeah.
in here. Yeah.
The more stuff you put in here, the less echoey it
It
gets.
just
It's
breaks
weird.
up the sound. It still needs to be treated pretty badly. I still hear quite a bit of echo,
Yeah.
especially when we get loud. But this is actually the last episode of 2019.
Yeah, because this will be released on Monday, which is the 30th,
Yep.
and that's the day before New Year's Eve.
And then 2020.
See ya. Oh,
We
wait,
got
no.
sound effects back too.
We do have sound effects
Yeah.
back. I said see you because I thought you were going to say 2019,
Oh.
and then you said 2020, and now it seems weird that I said see you.
Oh, I was just looking to the future.
Yeah, I was apparently focusing on the past.
2020 is that date of like, I think everybody has like that they're like, this date is the future. You know what I'm saying? Like this is when the future exists.
Oh yeah,
And 2020 is that for me.
yeah. What was that show on Adult Swim? Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
C Lab 2020.
Oh yeah.
That's what it was called.
C
Yeah.
Lab 2020 is amazing. But there was a show when I was a kid that I think might have been on Adult Swim later on, but it was set in the year 2020.
Yeah.
from
Everything
the
was supposed to
future.
happen in the 2020.
Yeah, and so I was like, that's always been my date.
What was that Stanley Kubrick movie?
Oh,
A Space Odyssey, but was it
yeah.
was it set in 2020?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just know that the end of that movie was fucking crazy.
I've never seen that movie. I'm kind of a big film buff, and I've never.
It's a great
I've never
movie.
watched that movie. If I haven't seen it past a certain time,
You
there's
just
like,
don't ever go back.
yeah, and there's a low chance that I'm gonna get hooked on A Space Odyssey. 2021, I think is what it was.
Oh yeah, so not too far.
We need to go into the Twinbee tiles. Have you ever seen anything about that?
No, I don't know what that is.
I watched a full documentary on it. So I have my doctorate in it now. That's what doctorate stands for, documentary. There's these tiles. I need to look it up. There's these tiles that are like embedded in the ground, and it started in Philadelphia, I think, or something. And it says this really cryptic thing about Stanley Kubrick and A Space Odyssey and
What's it called?
all these different things. The Twinbee tiles, Toynby tiles, TILES. But anyways, they're just like randomly placed all over. And now they're all over the world. And they tried to catch the guy that's been doing it and find out why and all of that stuff. It's pretty interesting.
I think I typed it in wrong because I just got a really good ad for tiles starting at 29 cents a square foot.
It's basically Toynbee.
Toyn? Toy?
Yeah, toy.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Also known as the Toynbee plaques.
In other news, I'm pretty sure that our land is haunted.
Oh, I don't doubt it one bit. I've seen your crawl space thingy.
Yeah. Our
Your
our
what you call
shelter,
the cellar,
the wine cellar. Well, last night, okay, let's give some context to everybody else. I just moved to Jacksonville, and I live like not even a half a mile from a Civil War battlefield.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty likely that the property that I own or that we own is like Civil War is probably going on in that area. There's probably some stuff happening. I could probably dig up some artifacts.
I think you should. I know you talked about getting a metal detector, and I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can rent metal detectors.
Surely you could. I don't know if you could like here. you know, if you were like in Florida or something,
Yeah,
where
where
treasure,
it's like on the beach and stuff,
yeah,
where pirates bury treasure a lot. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
yeah. The Arkansas pirates are a little bit less known.
Yeah.
They hid treasure all over Arkansas though. But anyways, we were out. We built a fire last night and we were like hanging out there, and there were footsteps in the woods that were like, I've heard like raccoons in the woods. I've heard a deer and stuff like this. This was like, you know, the sound of somebody trying to control their step.
Yeah, real soft.
And hitting a stick and it breaking under their foot.
You know what it was?
What?
They were probably using the liquor trail.
Yeah, that trail that that's kind of what I was thinking too. I was like, that wooded area, I want to get a drone and fly it out there because like I'm willing to bet what it probably actually is homeless people living in those woods.
Oh, for sure.
Probably like meth heads or something.
Yeah.
Which is fucking creepy because like it's surrounded our back property.
Yeah, it is. And then I would probably put a lock on your cellar unless you just want to start charging somebody rent. Because,
Yeah, no, there already is.
Oh yeah, because they're probably going to start living there and in your shed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's why that shed concerns me a little bit because there's two like sliding bolts on the top and bottom. There's a latch for a master lock.
Oh, they locked it up tight.
There's a latch that then like twists and locks, and then the handle locks. And then I found on the inside there's a battery operated alarm system that goes off.
That's because
if you set it,
it was most like I guarantee you the people who lived here before had people stealing shit out of there nonstop.
Yeah.
Like if I'm a meth head, that's the first place I'm going.
Right.
Because I assume there's going to be lawn
We don't have a
equipment.
fence around our property yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Is a nightmare. Yeah. So we adopted a new dog today.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Poor
like
thing.
literally as Mitch showed up.
I didn't even see you guys on the porch over there.
Yeah, we were over and I thought that was their dog. And then I was like, fuck, this isn't your dog now. We're stuck with it. God damn it. And I saw it in their yard first. So like it's their responsibility now.
Yeah.
Are you still reading about the Twin
Yeah,
house?
it's really weird. Like in 1983, there was a letter to the Philadelphia Inquirer referenced a Philadelphia-based campaign with themes similar to those mentioned in the tile. And it like one of the tiles, it just says, in movie 2001, resurrect dead on
That's what it was.
Jupiter.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
That's what it was. Yeah, 2001. You're right.
So that's already passed. But yeah, in 2000, it's like in 2001, Space Odyssey, Kubrick that says something.
Who's John Arnold J. Toynbee? British historian and philosopher. Weird.
Yeah, it's super weird, dude.
I mean, obviously,
Really
you know, I see stuff like that, and I think, I mean, you know, I want to believe that there's more to it because that's what's fun about it. But the truth is, there's probably nothing to it.
Let me ask you this: with being in the Air Force, right, and like, I feel like if there's any government or military force that has access to aliens, it's going to be the Air Force.
Well, now they just stood up the Space Force.
The Space Force.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to have to hand over all your secret documents.
Well,
what do you think the likeliness of it actually going on? Like something going on with
aliens?
With aliens and the government, Area 51 kind of stuff. All of that conspiracy that maybe the government's hiding it. And
well, so because I think about this a lot. And I'm in two places on it. So one, I obviously believe that aliens exist. Because
obviously,
duh. Because it's too big. The universe is too big.
Yeah,
this idea that we you know, and the thing is, you know, I believe in God and stuff. But I also believe that there's no way that we were it.
Right.
And I think that as we explore even Mars and stuff, we're going to start to realize that we are just the planet that has lasted the longest, you know? But then on the flip side, you know, you don't hear about China or Japan or Russia or any of those other places talking about their Russian secrets. You know, is there an Area 51 in Russia, like a similar, you know? And
well, you can't for part of it. Like for those specific countries, it's a little bit of a different story.
I guess my point is that the idea that the aliens chose America
Right.
as like their focal point for all their technological advances.
Yeah.
I just, because you see spotted, they've had spottings down in Brazil and in Latin America and stuff like that. So,
Have you heard about the in Nuremberg? I might have talked about this before, but in Nuremberg, Germany, it's always stood out to me because that's where I was born. Was in Nuremberg.
oh yeah,
And in like the 1700s, there was this big sighting of UFOs that like literally had a battle over Nuremberg. I mean, they were saying like there's drawings of it. It happened like just before dawn. And like multiple, like the whole town witnessed it. It looked like a battle going on to the point where they could identify one side was very clearly winning and one side was very clearly losing.
I hadn't heard anything
And
about
there's
that.
like newspaper. I saw it on, I think, Ancient Aliens.
Oh,
So
that makes more sense.
let's take that with a grain of salt.
Yep.
But that show's amazing. I love that show. It's pretty interesting. I think I looked into it a little bit, and it's got some credibility. I don't remember how much.
I watched a documentary over the week or yesterday called "Searching for Skinwalker" about the Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch, yeah. I've seen that.
And that probably has the most eyewitness accounts in one focal area, around one area. I was going to look up
Bob Lazar is like
Bob Lazar.
big
That's
on
who I was
that,
going to look up. Yeah. Well, he was on it on accident. Like on accident, he kind of got involved, and then of course, the guy who did that documentary went on to actually make a whole documentary about Bob Lazar.
I've seen. Oh yeah. And then that's the guy that went on Joe Rogan with him and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about how does Joe Rogan make any kind of like the bold statements that he makes and makes them like as if they're fact. I can't set my I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say, but I can't like say things that concrete like he does. You know what I'm saying? Like he'll say something about aliens or whatever and you're like, oh, he knows apparently what he's talking about. Like he knows all these names and things that happen.
Dude, he's super smart. He does. Like I was thinking about that on the drive over here about how like
I don't feel like he's any smarter than people that you and I know.
he just retains a lot of information. Like he can pull information out of the back of his brain.
I think he repeats a lot of information.
He does.
I think he hears a lot of information around the people that he's with. He does have access to a lot of conversations
That's true.
That we don't. But yeah, I was like, how do you just like make a statement so concrete and say like this is the way that it is, this is the way that it should be, and then stick by that?
Like what?
I can't think of anything in particular. But he just, when he says something, people are like, oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm going
Must
keto.
be true. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
like he knows all the ins and outs of that kind of shit, and I'm like, dude.
And that's a big part of him having a lot of smart people on his guests.
That's true.
Because he's had like multiple experts in the field on his guests. Like Dr. Rhonda Patrick has been on there, and she's like a huge proponent for all that stuff. And I listen to her podcast every now and then, but it's super boring.
Yeah, so. I don't listen. Honestly, I don't listen to any podcast. We need to get some drama with another podcast.
We do.
I hear that's a big thing. That's how it needs to do. I was also thinking about, this is kind of ruining my own plans, but I'm probably not going to actually do it. It'd be fun to do an ARG. Do you know what an ARG is?
I don't know what that is.
Alternative reality game.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where like you go on Twitter or maybe like somebody that has a following or something, and you create a scenario like you have a stalker or your house is haunted.
That sounds creepy.
And you start like making up scenarios and videos, and like people in the community start to like try to debunk it or try to figure out what's going on, like what the storyline is and stuff.
That sounds super complicated.
It can be. Some of them are kind of interesting though. When you think about it, it's like, I mean, like you're playing pretend with your friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're just getting really elaborate with it.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. There's one that like the Twitter, I think, is called "Where Did the Sun Go?" And it's like the first tweet's just him saying like help. And then the next one. And I don't know how they get all these followers either, because I don't think that they go out and campaign it, but then like they'll start a brand new Twitter and say something like help, and then people will follow and respond to it.
Maybe there's a whole group of people that we just don't know about.
Yeah, maybe you have to like advertise in a certain
like a book, like
board.
a forum.
Wouldn't that be a fun thing to do though? Like,
it can be if you get enough people. If it's just me and you, it's just going to be weird.
If we're just putting shit out there and like nobody's paying attention to it, like what are these fucking weirdos doing?
Fucking guys.
But like, you could like, there's a ghost in my house or something, and we like make creepy videos, try to convince people that it's that it's real. We're totally ruining whatever plan
I know
we'd have. But
so an interesting story. Well, it's not really interesting. It's kind of comical, I guess. So, my mom believed to the day she died that her house was 100% haunted. Right. Mm-hmm. So I didn't experience any sort of paranormal activity while I was there. But apparently it happened a lot. I just wasn't there whenever it was happening. I did have one moment of paranormal activity, but it could easily be explained away by like other things.
Logic. Yeah.
Because I did have my daughter's baby seat was sitting on the table, and then like out of nowhere it just started rocking. But I could have bumped it, any number of things, right? So that's the only thing I ever experienced. But so and she'd been saying these things for years. Like she knew their names, how many there were. There was like 3 of them. One was a little girl, and like one of them had an obsession with her fiance and wanted him to like come be with her. It was like a whole
dude. If everybody was legit, like that'd be fucking cool,
right?
Like, have a party.
Yeah. Well, apparently they did have parties. Like they would. It was super weird. But anyway, so and this went on for years, right? And my mom used to tell me about it all the time. I thought everybody in the family also knew this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right. Well, when she was in the hospital, right before she passed away, they had to like I get a text from my sister, and she's like, "Hey, they have to do a psych eval on mom," and I was like, "For what?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's sitting in the hospital room talking about how her house is haunted and all this." Like, just went on this whole thing, and I was literally like, "You didn't know this stuff? Like, how did you not know that mom thought these things?"
Have you seen the new Joker?
Yes.
What if like that was the moment where you realized that like everything wasn't
real,
wasn't the way that it was supposed to be,
and I'm the crazy person?
Yeah.
Right, dude. It was. I just remember having that moment of thinking like, how am I the only one in the family that knew mom thought all these things? Yeah. Like my sister was concerned too. She was like, I think mom's crazy now. And I was like, no, she's had like, I had to explain to her brother, like my uncle. And because my uncle was like, no, you don't understand. She's saying this, 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 and this. And I was like, yeah, she's been saying it for years. How have you all not known this stuff? So.
That's wild. Lizzie's pretty, I mean, she feels like her grandma's house is haunted 100%. What was weird is like she told me that before. She's like, she just believes that she's convinced that it's haunted, that there's spirits there. And then we picked up her brother a couple of weeks ago for Christmas or whatever. As soon as we picked him up, she's like, "Did you go to grandma's house?" And she's like, "Yeah," and or grandpa's house, and he's like, "Yeah," and she's like, "How was it?" And he goes, "Fucking weird, dude. He's still there." And like, he passed away, and she's talking about like he's still walking around the house.
That's crazy.
And I was like, whoa, that's so weird that like I've never once experienced anything like that. And then some other people are like 100% this happened, like as if it's solid fact, So I don't know. I mean, like,
well, it makes you wonder.
Maybe I'll find out over the next couple of weeks.
I hope you do.
Moved into this new place.
I hope you do.
Oh, I'm scared of ghosts. I don't believe in them, but fuck if I'm wrong.
I know.
Like, oh, they're so scary. What if like, that's literally one of the scariest things I can think of. I'm not scared of any human. I'm terrified of dead humans.
The possible,
dead human spirits and animals. When I'm camping, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what the fucking animal is going to do.
No. We dealt with that when I went through survival training. So for a week, they put us in the field in the Cofield National Forest, and we're just like going from campsite to campsite. And, there's bears, giant packs of wolves, mountain lions, all kinds of stuff up there. And we're sleeping outside in tents that we made. And the thing is that a lot of the tents are not like, you're not covered up inside.
Right.
You just have like a top over you.
I would prefer that, honestly. When I'm thinking about an animal attacking me, I would like an easy way out instead of being trapped inside of a cocoon.
Well, I didn't think about it like that. But you would hear them at night sniffing around. And a few times, like I can tell you this, you can tell the size of an animal based on the way it sniffs around your campsite.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, oh, that's totally a raccoon. And then other nights you were like, that's a fucking bear.
Yeah.
There's no way that's not a bear.
You can hear the heat coming out of them.
Oh my God. Yeah. Dude, it was super nerve wracking because you'd wake up the next day and it was snow outside. So you'd see all the tracks.
Oh,
and you're like, we were almost a meal. There's no doubt we were almost a meal. And you don't have weapons. You don't have anything. You know, like you just go bear, go.
Yeah.
Scat.
You know? I want to do, Bob and I want to do the Pacific Crest Trail, the PCT.
I don't know what that is.
It's the trail that runs from Mexico all the way up to Canada along through like California and the Pacific Northwest and stuff. It's a 3-month long hike.
It takes, I thought it would take so much longer to get from Mexico to Canada.
It can. It takes about 3 months. The problem is you have like a pretty tight window.
For weather
to do
and
it
stuff?
for weather.
Yeah.
And so you have to apply and get all this stuff. And with climate change, things have been like I was like, wow, that was weird. I don't know why I was so fucking sassy about that with climate change.
Because you're so woke.
Yeah, so it's just really sassy of me. There's like the wildfires are getting like really dangerous and the blizzards and stuff like that. But the bears was like a big thing that we were like researching.
People get eaten by
really
bears
scary.
every day.
Yeah, that's
daily.
I don't know if it's daily. But yeah, that's scary. This is we mentioned it earlier. This is the last episode of
the year
2019. So let's recap. What is your what's your highlight of 2019? What's your best moment of 2019?
I think I got promoted to black belt in 2000. No, I didn't.
No.
2018.
Yeah.
I didn't compete at all in 2019. So
yes, you did.
Oh, I did. I competed with you. Well, that's not a highlight. So
yeah.
Because I lost both those fights.
Oh, we've got that new dog barking.
Oh, you hear it? I don't know. 2019 was a super boring year for me.
Yeah.
Because nothing really happened.
Dude, how can you say that?
Well, in my life,
We happened, Mitchell.
Well, this would be the highlight.
2019 is when we
The creation.
Honestly, I've said it multiple episodes. I've told you before, like 2019 was my year.
Yeah, you were
I
smoking
knew
it.
it was coming.
Like, I'm glad that you know, I felt like Jan Brady, pretty much our entire relationship. And you're Marsha.
Oh, Marsha.
Because all these great things were happening to you. And then I had to sit around and listen to it.
Yeah, that was my highlight. I wasn't winning my match, but getting to rub it in your face later. Throwing you at the seminar was another one of my highlights.
Yeah, you did have some really good highlights that involved me.
Yeah.
I've just been getting my ass kicked all year.
This podcast is blown up.
Yeah.
I think, dude, the reason I think that like 2019 was my year was because nobody can have that many shit fucking years in a row.
Yeah.
I had my like pretty much halfway through brown belt up through black belt until recent, like the past year was fucking horrible. It was like roughest years of my life. I was in a miserable relationship, got out of a miserable relationship, then was depressed because of that.
Right.
And then got a black belt in the middle of it and got depressed because of that. And it just kept snowballing on me. But then I was like, I don't know, something happened. I was just like, you know what? I feel it. Something's different.
I'm excited about 2020.
I feel that way going into 2020.
I do. I think the main reason I'm excited about 2020 is because, like you said, you can't have that many shitty years in a row.
Yeah.
So like 2020 has got to be good. But I've got cool stuff coming up on the horizon for me, like career wise and stuff. There's some things that I'm looking into, and I might be finished if everything goes according to plan. I might be finishing my bachelor's degree next year, at the end of next year. So that'd be super cool for me. Being me and my sister, the only two out of all the kids that my mom and dad had that have ever graduated high school. And then I'm the only one that's actually got any college. And then if I graduate, I'll be the only one that's ever graduated college. And so that's kind of cool. But then also just that degree opens up some options for me career-wise.
World of other.
Yeah. World of wonder, if you will. I wish I could have recorded my daughter Reagan. She's 5, and TV is the reason for this. But I asked her to do an English accent the other day, and she did spot on.
Oh, really?
Spot on. I should have recorded it. I can barely do one.
I can't do accents very well.
I
feel like I could have been a comedian.
If you could only do accents.
If I could do accents. That was what held me back. I'm like one of the funniest people I know. And like...
But you can't do characters?
Yeah, I just can't do character acting. I'm like a... What's that guy's name? Pete Townsend? What's that?
That's not
That's
right.
the Led Zeppelin guy or something. Pete... He dated Ariana Grande. Pete Williams?
Oh, Pete Wentz?
No.
I don't know. He's the bass player for Fall Out Boy.
Yeah. Pete something. I don't know. The guy that dated Ariana Grande that's on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, the guy that almost killed himself like 50 times?
Yeah, his dad like died in 9/11 and he makes jokes about it to deal with it.
Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
I don't know, but he's pretty funny. I know who you're talking about because I guess he dealt with some depression.
But he can't do any characters.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's never done... I've never seen him do like a character.
Yeah, because he tried to kill himself after him and Ariana Grande broke up.
I don't know if he attempted suicide. I remember he like disappeared and he talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, because I know that he did it on social media and people like reached out to him.
But Mac Miller did it first, so now he can't. Now he just looks like he's following the crowd.
Now he can't kill himself because then it would look like he was copying
Damn
Mac
it,
Miller.
Mac. And that's like his ex-girlfriend's ex-boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what a twisted triangle that is.
But Mac Miller died of an overdose, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it intentional?
No, it was something to do with fentanyl or something.
That'll get you every time. That'll get you every time.
What I think, here's what I'm thinking for 2020. 2019, we're kind of going out, like, I know it might seem like we're going out with a fizzle right now, like, because we kind of are. Like, this is going to be, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's going to be an adult episode.
Yeah, you're not going to like it at all.
Now that you're 45 minutes in. And
I'd probably go ahead and turn it off.
Yeah.
Actually, don't even listen to the rest.
Skip. But then 2020, like, we have a lot of things that are just fucking brewing right now. Like, we're waiting on just
little things to fall into place.
Pieces to happen that are just beyond our control. And once those things happen, I think, like, 2020 is just going to blow up. And what's awesome is, like, 90% of it, honestly, is we're just waiting for 2020 because this holidays like fucked us everything up.
I have a text message that I have saved in my notes for 2020 that I'm going to send to Ariana Grande once we blow up. Yeah, that's the status we're going to get to,
of course.
And so
she'll come on.
Yeah, right around March, I figured 2020. Yeah. I'll be able to press send.
Are you trying to come in, Bob? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can.
I need to take this down to the animal services.
Okay, you want to come in and keep everybody occupied while I do that? Why don't you come say hi to everybody?
You gonna come tag out Jonny?
Yeah, you can let the puppy in.
She's sweet.
All right, Bob's gonna tag me out while I move her car real quick. Everybody meet our new dog.
Yeah, she's a tail drummer.
She's a tail drummer.
So if you hear noises. What's our topic, Mitch?
We were just talking. I hope he doesn't unplug anything. We were just talking about how excited we are for 2020 because Jonny had an amazing 2019.
He did.
And well, according to Jonny, he did.
Oh.
And then I didn't. And so the goal is that his good luck and good fortune continue, and that mine turns around.
I think 2019 was like the worst year of my life.
I felt the same way about mine.
It was so bad.
Because we started the podcast, so that was a positive. But I literally lost every fight that I had, and Jonny won all his.
Yeah.
I didn't compete at all. Yeah, nothing amazing happened.
Yeah.
Everything actually went wrong, honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't have like one good thing happen except for this house.
Yeah.
And now I don't even know if it's a good. No, I'm just kidding.
Because Johnny said it's haunted anyway, so.
No, it's not haunted.
Well, I don't
If
know.
it were, I would have picked it up by now.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Well, he said that the land itself is haunted. Maybe not the
I
house.
don't think it's haunted. I just know that it was like a probable battlefield. But that doesn't mean it's haunted.
I don't know. When a lot of people die in one spot, that's exactly how hauntings happen.
Well, that could be true, but it doesn't feel like any spirits are like left behind. I don't know. Maybe there's some like in the area. I don't specifically feel it here.
I think you guys probably have a homeless problem in the woods behind your house.
I know that guy's not homeless, and I know that he has 50 dogs, according to our neighbor, who I just spoke with. I just met him.
Just moments ago.
Just literally like 5 minutes ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you move the car?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our tendrils are hanging out now.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
Maybe they'll have a Tacoma.
tip to tip.
They'll have a little baby Tacoma.
Yeah.
Hey, doggy, say goodbye to everybody. It was fun. Come on, babies.
Go on, Nora.
Come on, babies. Oh. Bitch was like, get these goddamn dogs.
I'm just super nervous about them knocking something over because we had a rough start to getting this podcast
We did
going.
kind of get a rough start. What were we all talking about?
I just was talking about 2020.
I heard you say 2019 was a good year for Johnny, and she said it was.
Yeah, she did. We both agreed that our 2019 was terrible, and that she also doesn't think that this house or this land is haunted, which I disagree with.
I do.
I think that the probability is too high considering the location, what probably happened here.
Yeah. Another thing, it could be aliens. We're close to the Air Force Base.
True. I've spent a lot of time at the Air Force Base, and I haven't seen any crazy anomalies yet. But
dude, if it came out, they're like, we've been hiding this the whole time, I would be more amazed by the fact that people were able to cover that up for that long.
right.
Because it's like, dude, people are stupid.
Well, supposedly, whenever a new president comes in, they give him like an intel brief, and part of it is the alien program.
Yeah.
But if anybody was gonna out that, Donald Trump would have been the one to out that.
For sure.
And he hasn't said anything.
Yeah. But would you believe him if he did?
100%.
Really?
100%.
I think it would be some stupid like, yeah, aliens, super real. They're out there.
I would have been like,
and then like,
nailed it.
Okay, am I supposed to believe
I would
that?
believe it. He's the president. We wouldn't even believe him.
I don't know, Mitch. Why wouldn't I believe him?
He's kept his word on everything else.
I'm not getting into this with you, Mitchell. This is not a political podcast. I'm super like neutral with all that stuff. I mean, like I do care. I do have opinions on it, but I also don't vote.
Yeah.
And
I was that way
like,
for a long time.
People like chew me the fuck out, and I'm like, listen, your right to vote is also my right not to vote.
Correct.
Because I don't give a shit, and I don't think that it's gonna matter.
I have not voted since the Obama administration and his first term. I haven't voted since then for the same reason. Like we've proven time and time again that the popular vote doesn't make a difference.
Yeah, my vote's not going to make a difference. And do you really think that like even the person that I might actually want to be president is the person that I truly want to be president?
No,
like,
it's because right now
those were the options that were given me.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody liked school lunch, not because it wasn't good, because you weren't given the options. You know, like you just got shit food or more shit food.
Yep. Welcome to Shitsville.
Or Nutty Buddies. That's what I ate.
Yuck. Oh wait, no, Nutty Buddies are awesome.
You know what? We could compare actually. The more that I think about it, school lunches and politics. I think that
that's
meshes.
a fair. Yeah.
Because then, as soon as were you in school when they introduced the idea of like, well, now you can have like
pizza,
Snickers at the fucking checkout line, and soda pop and stuff like that. Did you? Because there was I remember that switching.
I do too. It was right around high school for me because I remember.
See, mine was middle school, so it would have been
So it would have been my high school. Yeah, because we went from whatever was on the menu that day to being like, oh, you can go to the snack line or you can go to the regular line.
What was that? Was there a law that was passed or something?
I
Who
don't
the
know.
fuck did that?
I don't know. I didn't vote. My parents didn't vote.
Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, if that was up to a vote, I would vote no on that shit.
Mm-hmm. I just ate pizza every day.
I ate Nutty Buddies. Like, seriously, my entire 6th and 7th grade.
I want to say
years.
No, it couldn't have been because Obama wasn't president then.
No, it was Clinton.
Yeah, Clinton. And I know he didn't do it. Maybe he did. I don't know.
There had to have been some kind of like thing that allowed big corporations into something like that or something.
Yeah, because I remember, you had the white milk, chocolate milk, 2% milk, and then like all of a sudden you could get those Fruitopias. Yeah.
Sodas, all that stuff. What a huge scam when you think about it. The other thing I was thinking about too. Okay, so you're the government and you're thinking, how are we going to keep track of people? You have to kind of, you have to read the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the 40s, 50s, whatever, right? You've got to predict the future. What's the best way to identify people?
DNA.
Okay, that's definitely the
Fingerprint.
Fingerprints would be the next one, right? The easiest way to identify somebody would probably be fingerprints, I would say. DNA would be like super difficult, right? Do you remember when you were a kid, whenever the police would come to your school and make you fingerprint?
100%.
You didn't have a choice. Mm-mm. It was like a thing. Like everybody was having fun and we're all gonna go do.
Let's show you how this works.
Yeah, they fucking have you now.
Yeah, the military takes DNA. I have a DNA on file with the military now.
But you signed up for that.
Yeah,
again,
but it didn't always be. It wasn't always that way.
Yeah,
you know. I remember it probably was about 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah,
that they made a transition to where they took your DNA and they had it on file now. For several different reasons.
I'm okay
obviously.
with that.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I couldn't care less.
You're in the military.
Yeah, so
honestly, part of the reality of your job is death.
It's true, and because we do it with all of our not suspects, but like anybody that's a suspected terrorist that is killed or whatever. They do a catalog. They'll do DNA.
So here's what would be the scary thing is if they also took your DNA test whenever you were a small child, and then when they take your DNA test again, they're like, oh, you're this person, right? So that's what they're doing with your fingerprints. And guess what you use to unlock your phone? Your fingerprint.
I don't.
I use my face and I did use my fingerprint.
You're doing it. You're buying into exactly what they want.
No, I know. Absolutely. What? I've got Facebook. I've got it all. I'm one. You did though.
I did.
Yeah, it's too late.
But now that I've deleted it, it's like it never happened.
Right. It just erased all of it, and they're never gonna catch you.
It's true. It's not a database.
Mitch,
at some
off
point,
the grid.
Yeah.
Hacker man.
I got really weird with like security for a while there. Like I downloaded a VPN and like I was using encrypted emails. Like I got really weird for a little bit there.
But I mean,
and now I send my social through my Yahoo account and I don't care. So.
Honestly, like all of it, the worst that's going to happen to me is somebody's going to take money out of my bank account.
Mm-hmm. Which in most banks now secure that.
Right.
So it's not even like it's going to be a big deal.
I check my bank account every day pretty much. So it's like, oh, that wasn't me. So,
have you ever had your bank account hacked? Mm-hmm. I had mine too.
Yeah. Our gym account for a while was like having an issue with that. I guess one of our wholesalers was like getting hacked, and we just we couldn't figure out who the fuck it was.
You and Daniel just thought you both were buying weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, we had to like get a new card like 5 times 1 year.
I've had the same bank for 17 years. And they're a pretty badass bank. They're a military bank, and they've always taken care of like military members and stuff. Like during the government shutdown, like they still paid us. They basically gave interest-free loans because they knew they were going to get their money, you know?
Yeah.
So that was super cool. Like my money didn't stop. And then when I had somebody hack my account and they were trying to buy German power tools and airline tickets.
Nice.
And I was like, well, that wasn't me.
To go pick up their German.
Exactly.
You got to book a flight to Germany to pick up their tools.
Yeah. They'll never catch me. But a buddy of mine, he's a purple belt. We met on one of my deployments, and he went out partying one night in Spain, I think it was, and he got wasted, and spent like $1,500 like in a bar.
Nice,
like, insane, right? Well, he woke up the next day and didn't remember any of it. So he checks his bank account and he's missing $1,500, and he assumes someone has hacked his account. So he calls the bank, tells them that someone has hacked his account, and they were like, no problem. This happens a lot. And they gave him the money back.
Whoa.
And then 2 days later, he remembered that he spent the money. And then he was just $1,500 richer.
Whoa.
Like he never called him back and was like, I have made a mistake. Yeah,
That's wild.
I know. So the moral of the story is if you go to Vegas and get drunk and buy a lot of hookers, the next day, just call your bank and say somebody stole your identity.
Just don't book a flight on the same card.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, that makes sense.
Today on shitty pro tips, life pro tips, how to do illegal things. I don't remember what I was going to talk about, but you know what I did learn recently? I've been eating a lot of fast food because we've been moving and all that stuff, and because I pretend like it's the move that I've been.
Yeah, no, it's just an excuse.
I've been eating fast food for like a year.
Your real estate agent is your enabler.
Yeah, it doesn't make you any faster.
It doesn't.
No. Mm-mm. So far, it's only made me feel shittier and fatter.
They should call it shittier food.
Yeah.
Instead of fast food.
Not fast food.
Yeah.
Will not make you fast food.
Did you ever buy shoes when you were a kid that you thought were going to make you faster?
Yeah, I remember getting I got some BK Nights.
Ooh, British Knights.
Yeah, I got some BK Nights that I saved up for. What happened to those? Why aren't those a thing?
I don't know.
And why were they a thing back then?
British Knights were the heat. They were like the first glow shoe too.
Yeah, but who was wearing those?
I was. You didn't buy any British Knights?
No, I did. That's what I'm saying.
I was wearing them.
I had some.
Yeah, me and every kid in my preschool.
Dude, those shit was dope. I had my first job when I was in second grade delivering newspapers. Me and my mom got delivered newspapers together. And I saved up all my money and bought some BK Nights. And then I also, do you remember the water gun that...
Super Soaker?
Yeah, I think it was a Super Soaker, but it was voice activated.
Oh, nope. No idea what you're talking about.
So I had one that was voice activated. I saw it on TV and you'd go fire and it would squirt out your headset.
I feel like you could say literally anything.
Well, that was the problem. I didn't realize that you could say it reacted off sound, not words.
Yeah.
And so I'm goofing off with it after I spent all this money. And we were actually moving at the time. And my mom's like, take that off and help me. And I go, okay, Mom. And then she's like, if you squirt me, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, Mom, I can't stop.
I can't make it stop. It won't stop.
She ended up taking it away from me because she thought I was doing it on purpose.
It's not me, it's you.
Yeah, and I was like, I can't, I'm sorry.
What was that? Oh, it was it Grandma's Boy? Where it has like Nick Swartzen and stuff in it, and he's jerking off to Laura Croft. And
yeah.
And then his mom catches him. He turns around. And he's like, "I can't stop. It feels so good." That's what it reminded me of. I went school shopping for shoes with my dad one time, and you remember Fila's? Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
The person that we don't speak of still wears those.
Does he? I didn't know they still made them.
He's got a big old chunky pair of Fila's that he walks around in.
I didn't even know they still made them.
He thinks that they make him look cool, but it actually makes him look like a chola from LA.
Well, he also is known for buttoning only the top button of his shirts. So
yeah,
that makes sense.
It's a cholo, not a chola. Cholas wear hoop earrings.
We went to the store to get school shoes. That was like the biggest thing ever. Was like you get to go get new school shoes.
Yeah,
like for every year. And I remember my dad. He was like, "Well, look at these and look at these." And then I was like, no, I don't like those. And he's like, well, what about these FILAs? And I was like, what? And he said, yeah, don't you kids wear these FILAs? And I was like, Fila. Those are Filas, Dad. That's not an acronym. Like,
you can do it.
Let me get some of these ADDIDASs. It's over exaggerated.
The topic that we discussed about discussing. Kevin Spacey's most recent conspiracy.
That's like the new Epstein.
I kind of have a theory about it. I have two theories. One is more realistic. One is me kind of dreaming. But for those that don't know, Kevin Spacey recently, I read that he had 3 accusers now have died, but I don't know if that's an accurate number.
The article I read a second ago was the same.
Did it say 3? Okay, so we're going to say 3 of his accusers have died. I think all by suicide.
Mm-hmm. That I don't know, but it makes sense.
I know one of them.
One of them for sure. Suicide, on Christmas Day.
Yeah. The day after Kevin Spacey releases, which I thought he was in jail. I thought he was already locked up.
You thought Kevin Spacey was in jail?
Yeah, I thought he was in prison already. I didn't realize that he was out and doing his own thing. So he released a video that was super fucking creepy, talking about when people do things wrong to you, don't What do you say? Like
Kill them with kindness.
Well, he said something before that. He's like, hold your fire.
Oh yeah.
Hold back and plan your strategy or something. Kill them with kindness. And then I think super weird music.
Yeah, ominous music is what they said. Yeah, like from the old detective movies.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things he said before that was, "You didn't really think I was going to let this go, did you?" Something like that, right? Oh man.
Or that I was gonna miss Christmas. Or something like that. Yeah. Super weird. And he's playing that House of Cards character.
Mm-hmm. Underwood or whatever his name is.
Yeah. Frank Underwood, is that?
Yeah, something like that. Well, one of the ones I was reading about, who was one of the victims that died, who filed a claim. Oh, we were talking about this. When you read it at face value, it basically what he was apparently like all about grabbing dudes' dicks. Mm-hmm. Like that was his thing. Like either that or making other people grab his dick.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like the Louis C.K. where he was like jerking off in front of people.
Right.
In Louis C.K.'s defense, he did ask them at first if it was okay, but they thought he was joking.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you can't do that." He's like, "Well, I had your consent." So.
Here's kind of what I'm thinking is like, have we seen any? There's never been a court trial, has there?
I didn't know anything about it until you brought it up.
Oh, you
I had
didn't
not heard. I don't have Facebook. You'd be surprised how little information you get without Facebook.
Reddit. Like fuck, it was all over.
Oh really?
Reddit for a while,
I looked.
dude.
I was pooping this morning looking at Reddit, and I didn't see anything about it.
Oh, okay. This piece of the puzzle is new.
Oh, okay.
But you know about the Kevin Spacey stuff before, right?
Yeah. I knew that he had been accused of some stuff before. Yeah, and it was with men.
Yeah. And he handled it really weirdly. At first, he came out as like, "Whoa, I'm gay."
He's like, "No, you are."
And then then he started saying stuff about like how being a character actor and being in character so long is like fucked with his psyche and stuff like that. Here's what I think is going on though. This is my fantastical theory. I think it's setting up for some kind of documentary or TV show.
I wouldn't doubt it. Joaquin Phoenix did it.
Because we hear all of these things, but it's all like really wacky accusations with little to no basis as far as I understand. Mm-hmm. People dying because of it, which is another, like 3 accusers die. You think Kevin Spacey has the fucking power?
No.
To murder somebody?
No. Unless he's friends with the Clintons.
Yeah, and see, there's pictures of him with Bill Clinton.
Shit.
But he's an actor. That could have been anywhere.
That's true.
He could have been a guest somewhere. And he's on a political show. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that makes sense. But then again, like, who... Kevin Spacey doesn't have the power to kill people and get away with it like that. And there's been no kind of like trial, nothing.
Because most actors are stupid.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that people forget. Not most. I mean, there's some cool ones out there, but like that was what I was thinking about when I was reading those articles. Was can you imagine living in that world? Like you're an actor, and
you have infinite power.
Infinite manipulation over anybody. Yeah. We talked about that with Jesse Lacey and those things, right? Like he was manipulating those girls because to them, he was just this massive figure in their lives. And, you know, you can get away with a lot in those situations. We hear about it all the time, even in like in normal everyday life. You know, we hear about it in the military, unfortunately, where you have superiors utilizing their position of power.
But think of the level of assault that he's doing. Like he's convincing people to touch his wiener.
I know.
And is it like over the pants or is it under the pants?
Well, so the first one said that what he did was this was the one that killed himself on Christmas Day. They were at a Nobel Peace Prize concert, sitting at the same table, and Kevin Spacey said, "Hey, let's go out and have a cigarette," and then reached underneath his pants and grabbed his dick.
Dude, that's like the least of all sexual assaults.
What if somebody told Kevin Spacey?
I have friends that have done that to me.
Yeah, I do it to myself.
I said thank you and I walked away.
Yeah, and you do it back.
Yeah,
as and that's because if you don't, then the guy goes, "Hey, don't leave me hanging."
Yeah,
but it's weird. And if someone grabs my dick,
you have to level the field.
Yeah, like
otherwise, it's a gay action.
It is gay
if you're just receiving the penis touching and not giving it back. Then that's
like if like a guy leans in to kiss you, you have to kiss them back.
Yeah,
otherwise you're gay.
If they just kiss you, then you accept it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're loving.
And you have to pretend to like it.
Right.
I mean, it's just pretend, you know.
It's like
just pretend.
There's nothing gay about two dudes blowing each other.
No. If it if it wasn't for all the gay sex, I'd be gay in a heartbeat. I would.
Dude,
hanging
it
out
would
with
be
my bros.
cool. Yeah, like just playing video
Just
games.
hanging out with my
your
bros
homies.
all the time. Like
Yeah.
if all you had to do was just kiss them every now and then, like you didn't have to like do sex stuff, you know.
I think about that all the time.
I could jerk a guy off. I'm not gonna lie. Like there's nothing. I mean, I do it to myself multiple times a day.
Yeah, I'm probably really good at it.
I know.
I've practiced a lot.
You would think like that's I just assumed that chicks are really good at going down on other girls. I assume, but then I think about it like, well, they're not doing that to themselves.
I was thinking about the other day. I was like, dude, chances are, it probably feels really good to get it in my pooper, but I don't want it. I can't even let like.
You never had anything in your butthole?
Never.
Not once.
I mean, like I've had things come out. I don't think I've had anything go in. But I've had like, I've had some girls try. I don't even like it being near. Ooh, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. You know, it's just like one of those places. I'm like, ooh, don't touch there.
Jeepers creepers.
Yeah, I can't do it.
I've never.
It's like meth, though. You know what I'm saying? Like meth is probably fucking awesome.
I heard it was awesome,
dude. Or crack or something. Dude, it's got to be great. Dude, what's that stuff? Crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
Where like
turns your skin all crocodile.
You're looking at your body wasting away and
still
eating itself, and you're like, dude, I want to do some more.
I got to do some more of this.
How good is that got to be?
In the flying community, we have to do.
In the flying community, we do a lot of crocodile.
We have to do flight physicals, and so every year we get a flight physical, and around certain ages, you have to get your butt checked.
Oh yeah.
And,
so I have had that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew you had. There was no way you were this old without at least having something in your butt.
Yeah.
That would just be ridiculous. And I think most people listening right now would go, yeah.
Do you feel like ashamed and like?
I did have a really weird situation.
I own up to it. I'm like, well, here we are. This is what we're here for. So.
The first time it ever happened, I did feel like something bad happened because I was going for my first class.
He threw a 20 on the dresser and left a towel down.
Similar, very close to that. So it was my first class 3 flight physical, and the doc was like, "Well, you know, we got to go in there and check it out," and he did. And the way that he threw the paper towel, so I was standing up and I had my hands resting on the exam table, and then I had to spread my butt, and he gets in there, but he had so much jelly on his hand, like it was. I feel like he used too much.
Oh yeah, we talked about this because I told you I had to have my balls checked.
Yeah, it was too much. And then he didn't go. Here you go. Here are some napkins to clean off your butthole. He just threw them on the exam table and goes, "Here you go." And I remember thinking, like, I looked at him and like I felt
all I'm worth.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
I literally was like, I'm more than that, right?
Now you know how it feels, Mitchell.
And then I was wiping as he's like charting, like he's doing his chart stuff, and like I'm just wiping the jelly out of my butt, like this weird moment. Like it literally felt like I don't know, like
there's got to be a better way to do it. There should be a glory hole. You know
I think maybe they should start using ultrasounds.
No,
stop using fingers.
It's just as bad, dude. I've had because
don't put the ultrasound in your butt. like just run it over your butthole.
I've had, but it still takes a lot of that.
You cannot tell me that they do not. Yeah, you're right. They do. I've seen.
Because that's what I had whenever I got kicked in the goodies in a fight, and we thought I was gonna like lose a testicle. And they had to put like all kinds of jellies and jams all over my goods.
I don't know what the jelly does. It somehow like makes the image work better.
Amplifies.
But I don't know how.
Oh, no, that's the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Jelly stuff that they put on you.
With the,
I think they should put. Here's what you do: there's a drive-through window. You pull up, park your car, pull your pants down, put your butthole up against the window. They open up a slot, stick their finger in, do their business.
And then you get your receipt on the next window?
You pull to the next window. They give you a baggie that's got wipes and stuff in it and your receipt.
Here's the thing.
You're good to go.
My grandmother had double bypass surgery recently, and she said that the way that they found out that her arteries were blocked was they put a camera type deal through her femoral artery to go look at her heart.
Yeah. A catheter.
Why can't you're telling me that at this day and age with medical technology where they can put a catheter through a vein and go look at your heart, we still have to put fingers in buttholes. Like there's no other technology.
Like, feel around up there.
Yeah, this is the only way. I'm sorry. And you're like, no, I feel like there's more technology out there.
Yeah, it's some scam by all the doctors to be in.
He like puts his hand on your back and he's like,
all of a sudden, there's going to be like this doctor that becomes president, and he's just going to do this.
Yep, it's just going to be his campaign slogan.
Is going to be his campaign. So, and all men are going to be like, "Oh shit, dude, no!"
Now it's never going to stop.
We're all victims of sexual assault.
I think that's a fair statement,
and we're all going to be like manipulated.
I had one
by doctors.
He made like the typical doctor jokes. He was just like, he put his finger and he's talking to it, talking to me the whole time. And you have to stay relaxed, because if you tense up, like I would probably chop a dude's finger off with my butthole. Like if I like clenched it, because I've had some pretty hard turds, but I've guillotined them in half.
I work out.
Yeah, it's like a Kegel, but for your butt.
Yeah.
My taint is probably the strongest muscle in my body. Yeah, for sure.
This is a pretty fitting episode. We started out with Kevin Spacey, and then ended on buttholes.
It's his fault.
Yeah.
I just don't know why. Anyway, he basically put his finger in my butt and then made a joke about. He goes, "Well, there's your prostate, and there's your molars," and I'm like, this guy's talking about how he can touch my teeth through my butt.
Yeah.
But first of all, not far fetched because they do connect.
You are pretty short.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Not
I said,
far-fetched.
there's better ways. There needs to be a drive-through.
I know there is.
A drive-through glory hole. You just pull up, stick your rectum up there, and they do their business.
Yeah, because then you don't have to see their face. You don't have to talk to them about it. Sometimes, like whenever I have to do the whole turn your head and cough thing, I still get weirded out because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I think my dick looks kind of weird compared to other people's, and they're probably thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
like they see that and they're like,
"That's a weird.
That's
dick.
a weird dick."
Yeah.
That is a weird dick with it. How is it possible that your ball sack is bigger than your dick? I figured that's what they're thinking to me. Like, they're like, can you move your dick out of the way so that I can get to your balls?
Speaking of buttholes and weird dicks,
Go on.
TJ Brown's got a fight.
Yeah. Yeah. He finally got it finalized February 29th. I know that date because this is not a leap year. Coming up in 2020. That's got to be a good thing, right? Like,
wait, what day is it? February 29th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because normally it's the 28th.
Is that lucky?
No, well, it only comes around like every 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Rough and Tumble podcast is lucky. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
TJ came on. Well, Bryce came on and did the Twister right afterwards.
Yep.
And then TJ came on and he's about to knock somebody out.
Yep. On a day that only comes around once every 4 years.
Yeah.
It's in Norfolk, Virginia. That'll be cool. I'd like to try to go.
Do we know what card it's on? Like,
it's UFC.
if you go, are you going to fly or are you going to drive?
Probably. I don't know yet.
If you drive, I'll go with you.
That's what I was getting ready to say. I knew initially I was going to say fly, but then I knew what you were getting at. And I would be down for a road trip. I have a really good
friend that's a Nova and Yao black belt.
Oh, nice.
That owns a gym out there.
In Virginia? Yeah, it's not it's like 16 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not far. You can do it in a day.
And we can do, you remember I was talking about, we can stop at that 10 hours from here, 9 hours from here is, what is Asheville?
Tennessee?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a gym there that we can go visit. They'll let us teach.
That's the one you're talking about with the shack and all that. And like you get to camp out in the campgrounds and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'll let us use the campgrounds for free if we teach classes.
Oh, shit. We could do that.
Yeah, it's like in the Appalachian Mountains or Smoky Mountains or something.
Nailed it. He's fighting Jordan Griffin. I've watched some of his videos. Pretty hardcore guy. He's got his record 17-7. That's a lot of fights.
Yeah, it's a lot of losses though too.
It is a lot of losses. Mm-hmm. He's got a couple of knockouts, like 8 submissions, and then a couple of TKOs or something like that, I think. But he hits hard. He's got a long reach. He fights at 145. He's 5'10", fights at 145. So he probably has like a 72-inch reach, most likely. Mm-hmm. So TJ is kind of a compact fighter. So I think that, and he's a counter fighter. And this guy, when I was watching his Contender Series fight, he over and over and over again used that 1-2 up the middle where you like, you probably know better than I do, but like it's where you come high and then try to come underneath with the other. You know what I mean? Where it's like boom, boom, and you chase him, like chase him down the ring with it.
That wouldn't be a 1-2, but
yeah, that's why I figured you knew more than I did.
yeah, I get what you're saying though. Yeah, there's a lot, and they'll run straight line.
Yeah, straight line up, and they're trying to they'll try to come over the top of your guard, and then come up the middle with the bottom also, like with almost like an uppercut.
So I always refer to that as like Mike Tyson style fighting. I always say that he punches in X's. If you watch the path of his punches, they're always in X's.
That's exactly what this was.
Overhands and uppercuts. Yeah,
and that was on the Contender Series that I think, or I'm pretty sure it was. And even if it wasn't, it doesn't matter.
It's real common for right now for people. Well, I mean, it's always been common, but like they'll just bum rush straight forward. They'll run straight forward. It's all the people that don't know how to strike. Honestly, who's that curly headed kid that looks like Ben Askren's son that just fought?
O'Malley?
No. He looks like a younger O'Malley.
Oh shit! I don't. I know you're talking about though because Ben Askren like posted a video. Was like
it's like the youngest kid in the UFC right now.
Yeah,
they were talking about how he they were like asking him like how did you make it this far this early, and he's saying something about he's never in my life have I ever cut corners. I was like, well, dude, you cut corners somewhere because you fucking suck at kickboxing. Like you have not done a kickboxing class in your goddamn life.
That's true.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, how can you tell me that you haven't cut corners when you haven't done the full extent of your job?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You can't tell me that you're the best bus driver in the world and you don't have a driver's license.
That's true. Maybe he meant like he's literally never cut corners. Like he rounds all of his corners. Like when he's walking, like, and he also doesn't step on cracks.
I don't cut corners. I only run straight forward. I run
straight forward.
Straight forward or straight backwards.
I've never cut a corner in my life. Like, how do you get, like if you go to how do you get around the grocery store?
Yeah.
I don't know how you would do it. You stay to the aisle?
Honestly, though, like kickboxing is something that it just blows me away that people, like, I get it. Like, you don't know how to kickbox because you don't fucking care about kickboxing.
I care. I just don't know how to do it.
But you like, it's not something that you're pursuing or you're trying to do. But like, you're training people for MMA, for the UFC, it's not a tough thing to learn or to understand. Like, honestly, there's 10 punches in boxing. There's probably 12 to 14 strikes in kickboxing in general. Because of the legs. Yeah. And like you honestly in my style of kickboxing for MMA, I take away some of the punches out of the boxing stuff. Like things like a right hook. I don't use a right hook ever.
It makes sense.
Too short and it leaves you too open. But anyways, like it's not rocket science. Once you've learned those 15 strikes, how to do those 15 strikes, it's just about putting them together in different ways.
Different combinations.
And like it all makes sense. If I punch with my right hand, you're probably going to try to make that miss you. And I know which direction you're going to go.
You gotta go the other way. That's how TJ's made his head kick so successful.
And it's like, it all makes sense. Maybe. So how do you fuck that up? How do you get to the UFC and have that much access to all of that stuff and fuck it up?
Well, you see the same thing in reverse with guys who have no wrestling or jiu-jitsu and they're fighting in the UFC.
That's true.
Look at Lyoto Machida. Lyoto Machida like had dog shit jiu-jitsu, but he was like a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, no, how the fuck are you a black belt?
I feel like wrestling is a little bit of a different. Wrestling is, dude, that is a tough. I've never seen anybody pick that up naturally.
No, it takes a long time. And
to pick up, to just do a shot, dude, that took me like 6 years to feel like I finally was like, I get it now. Yeah. Now I just need to make my body do it.
Took me about 12 years, I guess, because I just recently got to where I can shoot doubles on people and it be successful. Yeah. Before I would shoot a double and I would like hesitate or would like half-ass it and it was obvious what I was doing, I used to not be able to shoot with my left leg forward. I'd have to switch to my right leg, but I stood with my left leg forward in a grappling stance. So anytime I would switch stances, people knew I was going to shoot a double. Yeah. It was super retarded.
Well, it's common, like, when Lizzie's screaming at the dog.
Oh, I thought she was screaming, like, for help.
No, it's pretty common that, like, when Johnny Hendricks, he wrestled previously, he's left-handed, so he shot off of his left leg, which is opposite of what he stands in his kickboxing stance.
Oh, yeah.
And so whenever he shoots, he has to switch his stance through his striking.
That makes sense,
to do that. Sometimes it's a little bit more successful because you're closing that gap
and then making the shot,
and then making the shot, stuff like that.
That guy fell off the deep end.
Dude, I saw him not too long. Well, I'd say like 2 years ago. We were backstage of some fights. He had a guy that was fighting. I had a guy that was fighting, and he's fat.
Yeah.
That's his biggest problem.
He stopped being able to make weight for some reason. Like, I don't know how that happens.
I don't know if he ever was able to make weight.
Yeah.
Like, he just didn't. He didn't do anything about his weight. He's one of those thick guys in general.
How do you not?
That's another thing. Yeah. Like I honestly, I kind of get it. Like if you put me in that position where I'm in the UFC, I've got all the right people doing all the right things for me. The one place that I know me personally would still struggle is weight training and eating right.
Yeah,
Those are the two things that killed me whenever I was fighting. Those are the two things that kill me now. Like I've always struggled with those two things. I think if I were put in that position, I would still. That's no different.
For me, it's the opposite. Like, I would do really well with the weight training and the eating. I just suck at all the fighting part.
See, like, that's the part that I love. Like, I will go train.
Oh, I want to do it. I just suck.
I want to kickbox. I want to hit mitts. I want to roll. I want to do that. I want to be on the mats. Like, that's the only thing that I want to do. I don't want to lift weights. I don't want to do any of that. If I have somebody, and see where I've always excelled in those kind of areas has been like identifying those weaknesses,
right.
Knowing that about myself, and then finding people to
fix it.
To fix that, because I know if I hold myself accountable to somebody else, that I'll do it. Like whenever I had a strength coach who we actually need to get on the show. He's Notre Dame,
yeah,
strength and conditioning coach now, but he was the strength and conditioning coach at UCA. So I'd just drive up there every day. I knew he was going to be there. I knew he'd make me work out. So I'd go up there and we lift. I got fucking swole.
Yeah.
He moved right down the drain.
Boom.
So I can see that being an issue,
but
later on,
if you're a professional,
I know,
yeah. But I've had conversations with Bryce also about that. So we have Ross Strength and Speed, like 2 doors down from West Side.
Yeah.
And he cuts the fighters and he not just the fighters, he cuts everybody at West Side a phenomenal deal. For the amount of specialized training that you get in his gym, the price it's under $100. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't want to put his business out there, but
not without him paying.
Not without him paying for a sponsorship. Wow. So TJ's always had that. So TJ's always been able to do strength and conditioning with a strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
Bryce didn't.
Right.
And now that Bryce is training at Westside more and he's coaching at Westside and stuff, he's starting to get into getting a strength and conditioning deal now too. Ross's program is typically 2 to 3 days a week. That's it. Just 2 or 3 days a week of his program. And that's really, he has one specifically for like the jiu-jitsu guys, one for the MMA guys. And then he also trains like rugby and baseball and like all this other stuff too. But it's a pretty good deal. And I think that was something, because Bryce's concern has always been that he's too small for his weight class.
Yeah.
And so his big deal was to try to put on more muscle. I told him just to do steroids. But he was like, I don't know. Well, I'm like, dude, like we'll figure it out, like.
Dude, I would. I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
So I meant to ask you this a couple of episodes ago. We were talking about teaching jiu-jitsu classes and so on and so forth. Do you plan your classes ahead of time?
That's a great question. And I'm glad that you asked me because I noticed something about myself here recently, and it's in that realm, right? So I do plan my kids' classes out, right? Because I do teach a lot of the self-defense techniques for the kids' class.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I have to plan it out because, I like for things to flow accordingly, right? Well, what I noticed with all my adult classes was if I'm not actively training, my adult classes suffer because I didn't realize how much of my class curriculum is based off of inspiration that I obtain through training.
That you want to do.
That I want to do.
Right.
And because I'm constantly studying myself. And so I've been teaching a lot of side guard here lately, pulling into the side guard position where you can take the back and sweep and all these other things. So for the past 2 weeks.
Not to be confused with side control.
Not to be confused with side control.
Right.
Side guard is from the closed guard
position. Have you ever heard people call it side guard?
I've never heard them call it side guard. I've heard them call it side mount, which always kind of weirded me out.
Side mount doesn't bother me.
It makes sense.
Yeah. I've always had what's cracked me up is I'll tell people get inside the guard or get inside guard.
And they're like, which way do I go?
And I'm telling them to get inside of somebody's guard.
Yeah.
They're thinking get in side guard. And so we had this issue for a while where like people were calling side control side guard. I was like, no, you're fucking misunderstanding what I'm trying to
perpetuate a really fucking weird thing.
Yeah. And so we had like 3 or 4 people. I was like, you guys have to. I had a class where it was like, listen, this isn't side guard. This is not what this position is.
The best part is they were going around telling everybody that that's what you called it.
Yeah.
You know, like in the community, they're like, well, Jonny, my professor calls this side guard.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're like, I've never said that. But the side guard lesson plan came from, I trained with one of my buddies, so our purple belt, Owen. And during that round, we did like 5 or 6 rounds, 5 minutes apiece. And I was working the side guard position, just not because I wanted to. It just kind of happened. And then it was one of those things where I was like, dude, I forgot all about this position.
Yeah.
And then I started noticing some tweaks that I had to make it work against him. And I was like, dude, my students should definitely know these details. And so for the next 2 weeks, I kind of focused in on that. And that's when I realized, because I'd noticed that like I was showing up to class and being like, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to teach.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't think of anything, nothing. I was just like, well, I guess I could teach this. But then after that, I was like pumped. I was like, man, I can't wait to get to class. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to talk about this. And I realized that most of my lessons plans are derived from what I'm doing regularly in training, you know, and I have a versatile training. I don't have a De La Hiva, so my students do not get a lot of De La Hiva training because I suck at it. But I do have really good De La Hiva passes. Yeah. You know, and so I kind of rely on
my students, first year students.
We should.
I do a lot of De La Hiva.
And I do a lot of De La Hiva passes.
There we go.
But I kind of rely on the other coaches to teach them that stuff.
The rest of it.
Yeah. I'm like, I hope you guys are going to other classes because you're not going to get it from me.
See, I used to really try to plan out like, I loosely plan out my classes. I'll say that. I'll have like, you know, we're doing like De La Hiva for a couple of months, just basically until I get tired of teaching it. Yeah. And I'll say I try to do in 3-week cycles. The first week is an introduction to the position. Let's say we're doing De La Hiva. The first week, depending on who's in the classes that week, if I have a bunch of white belts going on, then it's an introduction to the position. If I have a lot of purple or blue belts, then it's like a lot of drilling from that position. A lot of like do triangles from De La Hiva, take the back from De La Hiva, stuff like that. And then, so that's the first week. The second week is like, is when we really, really focus on drills, just doing it over and over. Like I've already set, in the first week, I've already taught like a handful of techniques. And then the second week is we just do those same techniques. I don't teach it as much and we do more. Mm-hmm. And then the third week is like live position drills. And so that's how I try to structure my stuff. The reason I ask that is because like I've had the issue of, I don't know who's going to show up in my classes. Right. If I'm going to have a whole class, I've had classes full of blue, purple, and brown belts. And then I've had classes where it's all white belts. So it's like, you know, I'll plan. I'm like, okay, well, yesterday I had a bunch of high-level guys, so let's plan to do some like Barambolo from De La Hiva or some high-level stuff. I'll get to class, I have a bunch of white belts. I'm like, fuck. All right, well, let's go back to closed guard and do this or something. You know, and so then I'll kind of end up jumping around, and it's tough to stay consistent and keep everybody happy.
I think the reason that I don't suffer from that is because I don't know any high-level jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. And so everybody just gets the same 6 moves. Yeah. I don't know any high-level stuff, you know? Yeah. Like I do teach lasso guard.
You know what? 2020, Mitch, should be
the year of the guard for me.
Yeah, high level guard techniques for Mitch.
I think I'm going to start learning how to Barambolo.
From Mitchell Hall. I know a guy.
I got a private with Jonny. Yeah. I can't come to class. Please. Sorry.
You can subscribe to my Patreon.
Rolly really tried to help me work on my guard in 2018. And
that's because it wasn't 2020.
That's why.
It wasn't the future.
And it wasn't super successful in like implementing it. However, my guard did get better, but I don't think in the way that he as the coach planned for it to get better. I think he was really hoping I would hone in and get like a guard that I just have a go-to and I hit that go-to all the time. And I do to an extent. But what it did do is it made me start thinking about my guard more. And so I started with my lower rank guys, I'll play guard more just to stay in the loop. Again, like I said, Rolly's intentions were, he had told me the things that made you successful at brown belt are not going to make you successful at black belt.
Yeah.
And my guard being one of them.
I think though too, if you want to have a good top game, you have to be able to play the bottom game and understand the bottom game. It's
true.
To do one thing, you have to be able to do the inverse of it because you have to understand it.
So instead of getting my guard better, I just got really good at building my base pass. And I got really good at getting my guard passed and then building up my base and scrambling to the top. Yeah. So my underhook game is probably one of my best attributes from the bottom.
That's a no-gi style game, honestly. Like that's what happens in no-gi. Yep. I've said quite a bit, like the body lock position. Anytime I can get my hands together and wrapped around you in no-gi, I'm winning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like in the takedown game and all of it, because that means you can't get away from me. True. You watch ADCC and that's like all it is. Somebody gets taken down and then it's like, now I have to get away from you and then get back up.
And the other piece with the underhook thing, that because I preach underhooks with my students a lot, and the other piece to that underhook, the way that I use it to get up from the bottom, whether it be from half guard or side control, I know that as I'm coming up, they only have a couple of options. Yeah. They can shoot a wild triangle because I've got my arm underhooked, you'll see that, but I'm aware of it. And so I'm hyper conscious of their body position. And, as soon as I feel them kind of make a particular move, I know they're probably trying to hit that. And you can't jump to my back. So because my underhook's in the way. And so a lot of times it turns either into a dogfight, which is what I want, or they'll usually just swap to the guard. Like they'll fall to their side and try to play a guard game with me.
Listen, this conversation is really boring. Let's talk about something different. 2020 goals, go.
I don't even want to talk anymore. Like, I was going somewhere with mine.
Dude, I can't help it. Like I keep getting like, I'll be having a good time doing this podcast, and then I remember I have a fucking wedding to go to this weekend. Ooh. And I want to die. I have to go pick up my rented tux.
Well, don't take it out on me.
Dude, I'm serious. Every time I think about it, like, it gives me that just like, whenever you hit your head on a counter and the only reaction you have is like, like that's all you can react. That's how I feel every time I think about this wedding. Like, they planned it 3 days after Christmas.
Oh, I know.
I have to have a rehearsal dinner tonight. I don't have a haircut. I don't have a suit. It makes me so angry.
I can't remember the last time I went to a wedding.
Dude, I'm being 100% serious. This is the absolute... I'll go to weddings. This is absolutely the last time I'll be a part of a wedding. Yeah. I'm not even going to be a part of my own. I'll have a stand-in. Huh? Are you still recording? Yeah. You're talking about that on air? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
That was ominous.
Sorry, then.
Yeah.
I don't hate you.
No. Well, I need to put up like an on-air thing. Keep the riffraff out.
We told her to come in and be on the podcast.
Yeah, she could have.
Yeah.
No, it is one of my friends' wedding. He knows my disdain for having to do these things.
Oh, that's what she was concerned about?
Yeah.
That he was going to get upset?
He's going to be offended and upset.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And he knows I love him and I don't give a shit about his feelings. But it's still, and he knows it's the worst time to do a wedding. Come on.
Right around Christmas?
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. Way to make yourself the center of attention when everybody else is trying to have a good time.
But I'm going to go and I'm going to do it. And I was thinking actually what I'm probably going to do. I'm hoping if they have a free bar.
That'd be awesome.
I'm going to get fucking shit-faced.
Yeah, like Myrtle Beach.
And just see what happens. I might like ruin their whole wedding.
You might find a wife.
Yeah.
There.
I might. Yeah. It's about time. I was just thinking like, what if I just got super drunk and just see what happens? All right, 2020 goals. What are your 2020 goals? Great. Here's what mine are. Good goals, Mitch. I want to get more.
Sorry, my kid's throwing up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Well, it's not my fault.
Merry
So,
Christmas.
thanks.
I'm going to get more guests on the show because we're boring.
We're
now.
literally like.
I listened to episode 1 and 2 this week because I wanted to listen to all of them, but I realized that's 15 hours, 16 hours. No, even longer, like 30 hours of content because we do 2 hours an episode at least. So the same things that we said in episode 1 and 2 are the same things we're saying now. So we need more guests.
Okay.
I kind of want to, I want to get a producer. I was thinking about if anybody wants to audition for being a producer, and here's how we'll go about it.
Well, we're not paying you.
We're not paying you yet.
It's an intern.
Right.
And you can use this on your resume.
Dude, honestly, I'll teach you graphic design. I'll teach you how to do all of our stuff. If you want to start a podcast, come be my intern.
Yep.
I'll show you how to do it all. You can be on the show. We'll have them on as a guest, and that'll be their interview process. Can they hang with us?
And if they suck,
then sorry, get out.
you know what? Yep.
But your job requirements will be basically...
You can't sing. Don't even get on the stage.
Well, Nate's in for sure.
Nate's definitely in.
You got to be here once a week. You got to keep us on task.
And they have to be on time.
Yeah. Yes, on time. And you have to know how to basically get everything, troubleshoot everything, get it all going. And then you're going to have to do eventually commercials for us. Because I watch I've told you, I watched the Tiger Belly podcast. I really like the Tiger Belly podcast. I found a new one too called, I was telling you about it, The Forehead Fables.
Oh, yeah.
That guy's fucking hilarious. He's just my humor. Anyways, on Tiger Belly, they have like a producer. He'll chime in on a conversation or whatever. You'll be allowed to talk every now and then, future producer, when we allow it, when you're spoken to. But basically, he'll be like, sorry to interrupt, guys. It's time for a commercial. And then they'll go into their commercial. We need somebody to do that for us because I forget to shout people out all the time.
Yeah.
I forget to do our social media bullshit, our YouTube and like all of that stuff. Because I'm too busy being a star.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a podcast star now. I'm not like most boys. I'm a podcaster.
You're a real boy.
And so we need somebody to keep us on track.
I think that was a funny slip where you said, I need somebody. And then you're like, no, I forgot there's somebody else.
We need somebody. The real reason behind the producer, honestly,
to do everything that you already do.
No, because I'll still want to do a lot of it.
Oh, okay.
I'm just that kind of person. Like I want to do the work because I want it a certain way. But most of it's like we need somebody to keep us like, don't forget the Instagram. Don't forget to shout out your Patreon.
Ooh, speaking of Instagram, on the way here, I went and looked at some Dern stuff.
Yeah.
I know we haven't done that in a while.
Oh, we haven't.
So
we really haven't.
I had some pretty funny ones that I screenshot.
There's been, what's funny is I see like BJJ girls there was one in particular, Patty Fontes, that was talking about before she got breast augmentation surgery, she was talking about getting it. And all I could think about was like, oh man, save this for 6 months later because she's going to have some great comments on here in about 6 months when she starts taking pictures of those things.
There was actually some really good ones. So this one was from when she took the picture of herself. There was like 3 pictures. She was on the beach and she was like in a bikini. And she was...
when she was pregnant?
No, this was like recently.
Oh, okay.
And so this is just a few of the good ones. Agustino Frankie says that she gets me happier than a puppy with 2 Peters. I don't know what that means. That's a lot. And this one, the name of the account is just Mommy or Daddy. That's all it says. And they wrote MILF, 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 MILF. And then they just typed a bunch of letters that just says, oh yeah, they just typed a bunch of letters after MILF, 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 MILF. And then Packer Fan 729 says that
Packer Fan 729.
He said he would drink her bathwater.
I would drink bathwater.
My favorite is Daxmillion, who is a guy, says, I don't understand. I've been doing BJJ since 2012, and I look nothing like this.
When am I going to be a hot BJJ girl?
I know. And then my favorite one of all time was Dio Scarts, or whatever, doesn't matter. he just goes, man, you really are adamant about people respecting you for your skills, huh? Because, Mackenzie was doing that forever. She was like, I just want people to, stop worrying about the way I look and what I do and blah, blah, blah. And like respect me for my skills in the ring and in the octagon and stuff. And all she does is post all these pictures. I went on Reddit and I like to Google best comments on Reddit sometimes and then see what comes up. And somebody had posted a shit post at one point, and this guy says, it was like, it's one of the best punchlines ever. He said, my grandfather smoked his whole life. I was about 10 years old. So this is the guy's response to a shit post, right? I was about 10 years old when my mother said to him, if you ever want to see your grandchildren graduate, you have to stop immediately. Tears welled up in his eyes when he realized that was what was exactly at stake. He gave it up immediately. 3 years later, he died of lung cancer. It was really sad and destroyed me. My mother said to me, don't ever smoke. Please don't put your family through what your grandfather put us through. I agreed. At 28, I have never touched a cigarette. I must say, however, I feel a slight sense of regret for never having done that because your post gave me cancer anyways. It was like the most drawn out
scenario.
Yeah. And then it's like, your post gave me cancer anyways. This one was really funny. This guy on Conspiracy, he says that he said, I don't have any proof of this, but I think people with Down syndrome's parents were abducted by aliens and then bred with. He's like, I've been watching a lot of shows, a show called Born This Way, and studying them. They have similar facial features and look like what we describe as aliens. Like, that's so fucking crazy.
I think it's there for parents that made fun of handicapped kids when they were younger.
There's that as well.
I knew a guy that I remember him making fun of autistic kids, and now he has an autistic kid.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say then he got autism.
Then he got autistic. You never said your fucking goals for 2020, Mitch.
Because every time I started, that's when you were like, I hate this podcast. That's what you just kept saying that over and over again.
Oh yeah.
Every time I would start. My goals for 2020.
I do hate this podcast.
I know you do. It's okay. We'll get through it together. I want to finish my degree. That's for sure in 2020. I'm going to compete a lot. So I made that decision. Like, I'm going back into the competition thing.
That lasted a month and a half.
My competitions, because I tore my bicep in my first black belt match and couldn't compete for 6 months.
And then you complained because you lost your last one. I'm done competing. I'm going to do self-defense now.
That's not what I said exactly.
I have it on tape.
It's on the record.
Recorded.
I said that I'm going to focus on combatives. There's a difference.
And you did. You did.
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. And then that got boring. And so now...
nobody's combating me.
Nobody. I've tried to get into so many fights.
Hang out in my backyard for a while.
Yeah. And so I'm going to compete. I'm going to try to compete at least 3 or 4 times next year as a black belt. And a big piece of it actually is because something you said on one of the episodes where I said, I know I'm never going to be a Masters world champion or anything like that. And you're like, I think you could. I think if you dedicated some serious time to it and really focused in on it, that you could do it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. You're right. I think I can. And so I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to hit some competitions mainly. And then kind of 2021. 2021, depending on where my life is at, I'm thinking about opening an academy. Mm-hmm. So I know we're talking about 2020, but 2020 will be the planning year. Yeah. Right? And then maybe rolling into 2021, I'd like to open up a gym in Cabot.
Well, Jacksonville's off limits now. Yep. So
that's okay. That's okay.
Don't worry, Jacksonville. I'm not opening a gym in this shithole. Jeez,
people have already tried, and
we drove through, and I was like, I'm not thinking about opening a
now you
gym.
Could open up a used tire shop.
Yeah, good lord, that's the only thing people need in this area.
And liquor stores.
Apparently, used tires and liquor stores.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that liquor store. 3 of them right there, man.
How lucky are you?
Living the dream.
There's apparently an underground railroad trail right to it.
Yeah.
So.
And there's like trails behind my house that I'm pretty sure lead directly to the liquor store. We need it. We actually need to go out there and find out one day. I'm kind of afraid after last time though, we went back there and then somebody started flexing with their shotgun.
Oh, I know. We walk in the woods and then next thing you know, everybody's like, oh, I should sight my rifle in at 100 yards.
Yeah. Make sure that they can hear it.
I'll just get a screwdriver and a ninja sword and we'll go out there and check it out.
2020 for for my personal goals, because I stated kind of some for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get back in shape, and I mean that. I want to like eat healthier. I
Yeah.
want to lift again.
A lot of fast food so you can get your speed
So I
up.
want to get faster. Yeah. And I'm going to drink a lot because I want to get looser, you know, I want to be flexible.
Yeah.
So that's how you loosen up the muscles. You drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, seriously, I want to lift and like get healthy because I'm so sick of competing and then taking 6 months off because I'm injured. Competing, taking 6 months off. And I think actually living here will help with it because I'll be stuck at the gym 3 days a week where I can't leave.
Yeah. You can't just go home on your lunch break. Yeah.
So I'll just go in the back and lift a little bit.
Yeah. You got a great gym back there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it'll inspire you to add more equipment.
Yeah.
You know, something more useful.
Right.
I don't know what you have. I mean,
what are you talking about? I have like everything I need back there. The only thing that I don't have that I would like to have is a glute ham raise thing where like, you know, you hang off the end. And,
do sit-ups.
Yeah. Backward sit-ups.
GHD.
I forget what it's called.
That's what it's called.
So yeah. Okay.
I used to do CrossFit.
Let's talk about it. You want to do another podcast about CrossFit?
You're being such a dick this episode. Like,
because I'm grumpy, dude.
You are grumpy.
I don't want to.
You're so grumpy.
I did this whole move. Ask Lizzie about it. I did this whole move pretty much by myself. I did like, I carried everything. I set everything up, and not because like Lizzie didn't like help me. It's just because she was working most of it, and B, I'm like, when I don't want to stop doing something because I know when I stop, then it's done. It's not gonna pick back up. So if I get momentum on something, I just try to power through. I was like, what was it on Tuesday? I moved from I taught class until noon. Moved before, like packed up before that. Afterwards, I moved from noon until I moved for 12 hours. And legitimately went until I couldn't walk anymore. Like my foot hurt so fucking bad that I was like limping through the house. When I got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, I had to hop on one foot to the bathroom because it's just, I had been like walking and it had been like, my foot was swollen and all kinds of shit. And then Josh was like, you want to train today? I was like, fuck no. I don't want to do shit today.
He was super upset about it.
But yeah, all of that. And then this wedding coming up and just my parents are coming into town next week. It's just a nightmare. The holidays in general are like the worst time of the year for me.
I love it. I love the holidays.
Really?
Oh,
You do?
I fucking love it.
I can't stand it. I don't like the stress. I don't like everybody like forcing themselves to be happy and cheery.
Yeah. No, I genuinely am happy and cheery during the holidays. Probably the only moving forward into the rest of my life, I guess, the only downside is my mom passed away like 2 weeks before Christmas, you know, but at the same time, like, I don't think it really affected me, in that way. You know, it didn't ruin Christmas for me. You know, her birthday's tomorrow. And I don't really feel like it ruined my Christmas. And I think it's because like my mom had such a like super happy life, you know, in my opinion, that like, you know, I can't be sad about that. You know? So that would be the only reason. And I thought about that too. I was like, man, is this going to like mess me up for the rest of my life during the holidays? And so far I feel okay. So I think I'll be all right. So.
I would say being around the holidays when everybody starts putting responsibilities on you. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
You got to be here. You got to do this. When people are making you do things, you're like,
oh my God.
I don't want to do anything that I don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like this is my life. I want to do my things. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about.
No, sorry guys. Sorry that the last episode of 2019 was the worst episode.
But I enjoyed having Nate on a lot that last episode.
I did too. It was super funny.
Nate is legitimately just one of the funniest people and one of the most genuine, sweet people I've ever met in my entire life.
I mean this with all due respect when I describe Nate, because I never got to hang out with Nate. That was the first time I ever actually hung out with him. And then we had a lot of funny content that happened in the vehicle on the way to the restaurant that we totally could have used. You know, but he's like absent-mindedly funny, you know, where you're not. Sometimes you can tell when he's actually making a joke, and then other times he's like genuinely just being Nate,
Yeah.
but it's also super funny.
Yeah, I think people have a hard time reading that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I don't really know. But
I just laugh.
he just wants to have a good time and wants to make people happy around him. I love him to death. It's so weird. He's become like one of my closest friends just through us training together and stuff like that. We've been each other's training partners since day one.
Yeah.
It's such a funny like thing that we became partners. And I meant to tell this story whenever he was here. He knew me whenever I was straight edge.
That's because he mentioned straight edge for life on the episode.
Yeah, because I broke edge when I was 26, and he didn't know about it. And he's always gone out and partying and drinking and always wanted me to go. I was like, no, I'm not really into that, you know. Well, it was my 26th birthday, and we were in Kansas City for this girl that I was dating at the time. We weren't really dating, but it was like it was one of her fights. So we went to go watch her, and it was my birthday, so my friends took me out. And I got really, really drunk, but Nate was there, and I come up to Nate, I'm like, and I have a bottle of beer in my hand. He's like, what are you doing? He like starts freaking out. It's like, no, dude, it's cool. Like, I broke edge, I drink now. I've never seen anybody so happy in their life because he realized that he just gained another party buddy and that we get to like have fun together. And he was just like that whole day. He's like, I'm so excited, man. He's like dancing with me, and it was good.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, he just wants to see good things for people.
Yeah, and you could see that like it was genuine the whole time. Because at one point, I don't know, like he has like his level of concern at times was what was funny too. Sometimes, like because we were eating and you went to the bathroom and we had talked about one of his future announcements, you know, and like he was just like, "Hey, don't tell anybody, okay?"
Yeah.
And like he was looking at me like, please don't say a word.
Right.
And I just remember thinking like, no, I'm not going to say anything. I promise, you know?
Yeah. He's very passionate about everything that he does.
Everything.
And he's such a good dude. I love him to death. We're going to have him on again.
Oh yeah.
That'll be 2020 goals. Have Nate on more.
Yeah.
Then,
I'd like to have him on. I wish that we could get the other individual that we are not allowed to talk about. I wish we could get him on.
I'll convince him one way or another because he's a good person to have on.
Because I just don't see how being on our show could ruin his career. You know?
How can it not?
Everybody else's career has actually gone through the roof.
That's true. So maybe now that he's seen that, then he'll jump on. What if we just don't announce who it is?
Yeah, just don't say his name.
It'll just be a mystery, guys.
Yeah, we'll just call him like Jared.
No, because I have a Jared at my gym.
Oh,
Space Cowboy, Spring Break Cowboy. Sorry,
Space
Cowboy.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. We've got to have him on. We still have a whole handful of guests that we got to have on. So we're just gonna do from now on every episode. We're gonna talk about what we want to do and then never actually do it.
Yep.
Just keep talking about it.
No, it's going to happen. 2020 is going to make it. It's going to be great. We have a lot of really big announcements coming up.
But we're never going to announce them. We're just going to talk about them.
We'll announce them. So goal going into the first episode of 2020 will be to not talk about anything from other episodes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Also, and have a goddamn topic that we've researched. We're going to do that as soon as we're done here. We're going to come up with a list of topics.
Nailed it.
Because I want, we've got to have something. We'll have merch available 2020. And this comes out on Monday. We've
30th.
started, the 30th? That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We've been recording them on kind of weird days. We've gotten off our schedule, so it's been all a little bit fucked.
Cattywampus.
But yeah, we do have some big announcements. We've got friends that are starting podcasts next year. We've got tournaments that we've been invited to through the Rough and Tumble podcast. Our Patreon is still blowing up. We're still trying to hit $100 a month so that we can release our seminar. We just released the TJ Brown head kick video.
Turned out great.
Dude, I love that video. I think it was great. Really, really quick, simple technique video. We will no longer be filming them in my garage because I don't have a garage anymore. So now we got to find somewhere else to do them. But like I said, tell us what your goals are for 2020. Tell us what you want to see the podcast do in 2020.
And ask us more questions.
Ask us more questions.
If you leave us to our own devices, all we're going to do is talk about buttholes, obviously.
I know that I haven't been the best about like replying to everybody and being on there lately because of this move. Has been killing me. I've got Sunday, I've got Felipe Trovo coming in to the gym. I wanted to try and get him on the podcast.
I was going to mention that.
He speaks really, really poor English.
Perfect.
Which would be, I feel like, would make for an awful podcast. But he's going to be coming in, so we'll get to talk about that next episode. That'll be really fun. He's insanely good, so good. And that's about it. Subscribe to our Patreon. Subscribe to our YouTube. Our YouTube videos are getting released. They'll be released every episode. However, sometimes they take a little bit longer, so they might be released on Tuesday. They might be released on Monday. Trying to get a consistent date for it. This all takes time, people. But we need a producer, so come try out to be our producer. That'll be our next guest. Whoever can make it. What's the date for our next episode? Are we going to do Wednesday?
No, because I'll be out of town all next week for the new year.
Oh, okay.
So we may have to do
Sunday?
A Sunday episode, yeah.
That's fine. Okay, so next Sunday, we're going to do an episode. If you message me on the podcast, what's the date?
5 January.
5th of January. If you message me on the Rough Tumble Podcast Instagram that you want to try out to be we're going to call it intern, then we'll bring you on. And then we'll interview you, and hopefully your episode will be more exciting than this episode.
True.
And if it is, then you get the spot. Other than that, that's about it. We love you. Sorry this episode was boring.
Sucked so bad.
And sucked. We didn't plan it. Nothing.
We're the worst.
Oh, God. We suck.
Just the worst.
2020, we're going to just...
2020, you guys wait. You just wait. 2020 is going to be great.
We're going to be handsome and intelligent. And
his name is John C.
That's the last time you guys get to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've got to have all new sounds.
That's the last time.
Should we have a new intro?
We're going to have, for 2020.
Dude, I don't know if I can do that again.
I know you can. I have nothing but faith in your abilities.
Okay.
Just copyright someone, like steal someone else's.
That's pretty much what that is.
Yeah, I figured.
All right. We're wrapping this up. Goodbye. See you next year, 2020. Everybody have a happy and safe new year. Bye.
Bye.